Academy Award-winning actor Michael Douglas and Catherine Zeta-Jones are reportedly furious with CNN because of the debate that their son had with conservative commentator Scott Jennings on the network during the government shutdown.
The couple's son, Dylan Douglas, has become a left-wing activist in recent years with his own political talk show on Sirius XM. Here's part of the argument that he had with Scott Jennings last month when he appeared on Abby Phillips' show.
You cannot put on the American people that Democrats were the one that were hurting people, making this plight.
Who was casting the votes against opening the government, Democrats or Republicans?
Who was casting
the votes?
Scott, who was wanting to cut SNAP benefits?
Nobody.
Republicans who was playing up SNAP benefits after 2 courts ruled that it was unallowed?
Republicans voted to fund SNAP 15 times.
That clip went viral at the time, with many conservatives applauding Jennings, saying he dismantled Douglas's liberal talking points. But now the clip resurfaced online amid reports that Douglas's parents are blacklisting perhaps CNN because of the segment. Celebrity and entertainment journalist Rob Shooter, writing on his Substack, Catherine is absolutely livid. She's telling friends the whole segment was unfair and exploitative. He told people CNN crossed a line. They genuinely believe the producers set Dylan up, invited him on, for a soft conversation, and then fed him to a veteran political pit bull.
Now, Jennings himself responded to that report. Here he was talking on Meghan McCain's podcast.
I was as surprised as you are to see that his parents were upset about it. But, I think what happens generally with some of these folks is they exist in a very tight little bubble. They never really talk to Republicans or conservatives. They don't really get outside of their, bubble where everyone's telling them how smart and good looking they are. And then they wind up on television with someone of a different persuasion. And it is surprising to them. And so I hope Dylan comes back. I'm sure he'll get better at it.
Jennings also, on that same podcast, downplayed reports that he's considering leaving CNN for CBS.
Rumors had been swirling that the station's new editor-in-chief, Bari Weiss, was looking to bring Jennings on board. But Jennings said that although he's an admirer of Weiss, he recently signed a contract extension with CNN and is perfectly happy where he is. Discussing that with Meghan McCain, my friend, on her show on the Two-Way platform. I do a show on the Two-Way platform, too. It's a good platform. You get to interact with people live.
Oh, really?
Kind of call in and ask questions. It's fun. Anyway, neither here nor there. I thought this story was funny that Catherine Zeta-Jones and Michael Douglas, both actors I like tremendously. I like them in so many things. Loved Catherine Zeta-Jones since I was a kid. I loved her in The Mask of Zorro. Did you remember that movie?
Yeah.
Great movie. She's great in Wednesday. She's Morticia Addams.
Yes.
The Morticia Addams from the Addams Family movies of the 90s will always be my favorite one.
Yeah.
But Catherine Zeta-Jones does a good job. So nothing against them personally at all. But they're sad for their
baby boy.
Their little baby boy who was so mad at Scott Jennings was so unfair to him. Boo-hoo. I think it's hilarious.
My biggest issue is I have 2 things. So one, your son, unfortunately, I know this is hard to digest because I have an older brother who I think my parents very much baby because he's younger than me, but grown man.
Yeah.
And so whenever he makes a grown man decision, that's a grown man. And my parents cannot say, we need to, no, grown man. Your son decided to go on a show, grown man, can't have an argument. And now, for them to both be so upset about how the segment was handled, saying he got taken advantage of, have they never seen Abby Phillips' show a day in their life? Like literally every single day, Scott Jennings goes on there and has a battle that he either wins or loses, but either way, it's always a contentious debate, whether it's Anna Navarro or Kevin O'Leary. Like there's people always screaming, and Abby has to kind of be like, okay, one at a time. Like this is the type of, so that was a very mild demonstration of what that panel could be, and to be deeply offended. I know these are just reports. These are all alleged that they're so deeply offended. But either one, they don't watch CNN anyway, so blacklisting the network wouldn't be relevant because they certainly haven't seen it before if they're blacklisted over that small segment. And then 2, your son, if he's going to play in the political arena, and this is speaking from somebody who literally will debate politics. You win some, you lose some. But you know what happens? You know what happens next? I'm not going to go back and tuck tail. If I want to stay in this game, why don't you read a little bit more? Why don't you go back to tell and come back with the information? Or admit that your perspective has shifted because somebody who's a great debater has brought an idea to your mind that makes you say, oh, you know what, that's actually changed my perspective. Because my job and his job should not be, unless he's paid and lined pockets by the Democratic Party, should not be to defend endlessly. Just like I hope your job would not be to defend any party endlessly. If somebody's wrong, they're wrong. If they're right, they're right. If there's a good point to be made, listen to it or make it. And I just think that he can't really be in this space if he's going to feel, or his parents are going to be trying to go to bat for him every time.
You win some, you lose some. It's as Scott says, you get better at it over time. I mean, I've done, probably you have as well. I mean, just from Rising, I've done, I don't know, hundreds of hours of political debate from the 5 years almost I've hosted this show, and appearances on Fox and CNN and other Next Star properties, everything else. You have good days and bad. You have, I mean, some every now and then I'll watch some old video surfaces and I go, oh, did not do a good job there. Or I'll go, oh, I did do a good job. I remember that one. I should bring that up again.
Don't you also, like, for me, I respect people that are like, oh man, okay, you came ready to talk. You know, I respect that every time that happens. Like, if there's something on, like, even with the COVID conversation, I never was super pro-vax and pro-mask and all that stuff, but you were so riled up about it that me and you go back and forth, because I'm just like, I think
there's things we care about more and things we care about less. Right. I care a lot. I'm a COVID extremist. I care a lot about that. You saw earlier we discussed the social media stuff. I'm really passionate about tech issues, COVID. Those are the main things. Free speech issues, foreign policy. Is not my area of expertise, so I'm more inclined to listen to a range of perspectives on that, because it's just not my.
But even when my point is that even when you're like deeply rooted in whatever your thought is, to have a good solid debate with somebody where they're not just like blowing smoke is always to me a beautiful thing to watch on TV and to happen in real life.
Yeah.
Like when people do that. So I think that he should take the moment and take what Scott Jennings was trying to argue and say, wait, is this true? Are the numbers, and go home and actually do some research about it and see how he feels.
I think Scott said he'd be happy to talk it over with Catherine Zeta-Jones over drinks.
Anybody would. Who wouldn't?
I appreciate that comment. All right, we've got a lot more to talk about on Rising today. Please stay with us.